Hey guys, how you doing? I'm just hanging out here. I'm bored. Want to talk a little bit about rumors. Nothing really on the horizon, but very interesting that Favreau is the one doing all the interviews right now, and Kennedy's nowhere in sight. Okay, fine. Where is she? That's the thing that no one's asked, and it would be quite interesting to find out what's really going on. But I think we already know. I want to give you a little bit of advice. When something's going on and you don't like it and it's not quite said out loud, you're more than willing to ignore it. You're more than willing to pretend it's not happening and ridicule anybody that's saying it's happening, right? That's what's happening to a lot of, hey, Sky Talker, nothing, I just started. Didn't miss anything. A lot of stuff, see, when you have to say something out loud, then it becomes reality. And right now, in the world that we live in, a lot of things are changing. And I think changing for the better. I've got a good friend named Amanda Milius who is busy putting out a documentary about the Russia hoax, a new generation of filmmaker going on there. She's the daughter of John Milius, the great maverick, awesome filmmaker that created some of the I think the most fun, provocative movies. He wrote Apocalypse Now. He wrote and directed The Wind and the Lion, which I love so much. Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn, the real Red Dawn. He was very instrumental in the really great HBO series Rome. And she's a chip off the old block, and it's really kind of cool to see how she's, working. Guys, hit the like button, please. Anyway, Hollywood is changing, and you can tell. It's with Warner Brothers Media hiring. Oh yeah, it was. What a great movie that was. Warner Brothers firing, laying off executives. NBC Universal laying off executives, and Disney now rumored, hey Paul, how you doing? Very strongly to be, laying people off. It's going to go across the board, and a lot of people just don't want to hear it. A lot of people who, great, awesome. A lot of people who really want to pretend like the sequel trilogy was great. Suck up to actors who were in it who hated it, by the way. Hello, Dan, how you doing? It's very interesting to me how all of this is kind of showing the fact that there are people out there that just can't face the brutal truth. And the brutal truth is the money's gone. People aren't going to the parks, and unlike Universal, Disney lives and dies by the parks. Okay, that's what Disney does. And if they don't, please hit the like button. Please, please, please. If they don't get money from the parks, they're not going to earn a lot of money. This makes the investors upset. And that is where it's at right now. They're not doing this because they want to. They're not doing this because it's they're not doing this because it's the thing that they have to do, that they're dying to do. They're doing it because they have to. And oh, Austin, they all do. And I have a stalker right now, and he is sucking up to Mark Hamill and John Boyega, both whom have basically trashed the sequel trilogy. John Boyega because he's treated like a token by both JJ and Ryan Johnson, and Mark Hamill because they just trashed and just totally destroyed his character. So I find it interesting that my little stalker is trying to suck up to them on his stalking account with no followers, and he follows 26 people, one of which was Lindsay Romaine till she of Nerdist till she left. I've discovered quite a bit about this person. Let's just put it that way, and I've am about ready to light a fire. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it's I don't know who let's just put it this way. They rant and rave at me because I don't like The Last Jedi and I don't like what Disney's done to Star Wars, and that's what this channel's about. They don't like it. They don't go after Doomcock. They don't go after Ichibaka. They don't go after geeks and gamers. They go after me because I have a small channel. This will end though. Okay. It's very interesting though, because this person's dying for attention, and I think it's and it's personal with them because they're not. They only their tweets, a lot of them they erase literally years and years of tweets, and the ones when this all started that I noticed were all about me. You put two and two together, and I am a person who you probably would rather leave alone, if you know what I mean. Hey, yeah, you finally got a live stream. Good on you. I'm drinking this today because I don't have any. I can't get any diet cherry 7-Up. I don't know. I think it's a. Let's put it this way. This is a guy, or it's a very jealous girl, and it's a Raylo. But if it's a guy, he just doesn't like it that women disagree with him. He's got very weird ideas on what women should be talking about, and he prides himself as being a cinephile. It's really interesting to me. I mean, but obsessed with me, obsessed with this movie, obsessed with the fact that I hated it, and I really don't know a whole lot of people who even thought it was mediocre. Okay, in real life, they hated it. They hated the Rise of Skywalker, and they can't deal with the fact that Kennedy. This person. Let's put it this way: this person has put Kennedy on a pedestal, and actually believes that she's a very talented producer. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. So I don't know what to. I know what to do, and I know what the end game is going to look like. And whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going to put up with it anymore. But anyway, it's what I was saying is that if you say something that you don't like out loud, then you have to admit it's real. It's real. It's a very weird movie. It's not a Star Wars movie. It's but if you're a Last Jedi fan, and it's a bad movie, and you have to, it's one of those things that it's like you can't say, I don't know why I liked it. And if you have to say that you don't know why you liked it, then you really didn't like it. Like that's how I felt about The Force Awakens. And then one day, after watching World Class Bullshitters, I was sitting there drinking a glass of wine, a Sauvignon Blanc, I remember, it was hot. Looking at my dog going, that was really a shitty movie. It was a waste of, the characters, the original trilogy characters. It was a put down of them. It was a put down of George Lucas. The Force Awakens was a very soulless movie, and The Last Jedi took that soullessness to a level of I couldn't believe. And then, of course, The Rise of Skywalker came in, and that sucked. And my thing is, JJ and Rian Johnson hate each other. Okay, we all know that. And if you don't know it, it's obvious. And Oh, Mazarius, hey, dude. That probably won't be till October. If you do, this is for Dan Mumby. If you watch Doomcock, and you should, and Midnight's Edge, they're the best. These two channels are the best. Doomcock basically said that there's going to be a big announcement in around the first part of September, and there's somebody on Twitter who's got inside info, who evilly put out, remember the 5th of September. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I'm like, probably be the 4th of September because that's a Friday. The 5th is a Saturday. So something's happening. And if you look at the way, oh, thank you, Maze. If you look at the way they've been foisting Jon Favreau on their shoulders, it looks like it's going to be something that has to do with him and probably George Lucas. A lot of people in the Phantom Menace don't believe he's coming back, and they've a very I'm not gonna say it, a very uninspiring person's got their ears. My advice is don't listen to that person. My advice is just wait and see what happens. There's too much out there now. You've got Walt Disney World Magic Pro on that forum coming out and basically affirming, hey Paul, how you doing? Affirming what Doomcock and Midnight's Edge are saying, and Midnight's Edge is affirming what Doomcock said. You got to remember, these are all different sources. Okay, let's look at it the way a CIA analyst would look at something. We've got this source saying this, then this source came in and said something about something going on, and it filled in the blanks with that source, and that source filled in the blanks with that source, and somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. Pretty soon you've got where there's smoke, there's fire. And you know, it's obvious something's happening. And this whole, you know, and I'll tell you something else. Rian Johnson always liked to say, well, you know, when you meet your heroes and they're not who you think they are. Well, if you're an idiot, like he is, and you go with that, yeah, of course. Now, I'm going to tell you something. He's probably actually met George Lucas. George Lucas probably wasn't exactly impressed with him. Okay? You're not meeting a god, okay? Hello, Pocket. How you doing? You're meeting somebody who is just human like you are. Who's very good at what he does. But you got to remember, they're human. And, you know, Kathy Kennedy is every bit as human as anybody else. And she's been lucky. She got lucky working with John Milius. She got lucky working with Steven Spielberg. She got lucky working with George Lucas. She was able to, you know, parlay all that into getting really lucky with The Force Awakens, because that movie, I mean, when you really look at it, should not have been as successful as it was. And it just, oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Austin. That movie never should have been successful as it was, but the reason why is because Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill, which we didn't get to see together. Okay. You know, I don't know really what to think or what to say on that, but she's been lucky. She's not good at what she does, at least as far as the creative part. Well, you know, here's the deal, Maze. She is a good movie producer when her husband's there. She's not a good movie producer when she does it by herself because she's not creative. Okay? You know, I mean, and this is a woman, and this is the truth, that actually was the quarterback for her high school football team. I used to love football. I don't anymore because the NFL is a bunch of soy drinking commies. But, you know, why would a woman, I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, want to quarterback a football team? I mean, isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever heard in your life? Oh, she is agenda driven. She thinks she can do anything a guy can do, and she can't. And of course it was a remake, but that's not the point. The point was that she, she was able to parlay that 2.3 billion it made into actually being president of Lucasfilm, and there is no way in hell that she deserves to be there, and that she deserves to. Oh, they lost more than half their audience. They lost like 75%. Because when you start talking to people who about the sequel trilogy, the reception, unless you find someone who's really a gung ho anti-Lucas person, and I think a lot of these people who like the sequels are, you're not gonna find people who like it. You're really not. And that's fine if it was their goal. The problem is that you got to make money. All right, Dan Mumby, if he's still here, he knows what I'm talking about. Oh, Maze, you've got a troll. Hey, Liko, how you doing? Anyway, I've got a troll here, but I got rid of him. You all know I don't smoke. I can't smoke. I mean, this is a tracheotomy scar from when I was 19, but this fucker can, say whatever he wants. He obviously doesn't like what I have to say. It scares him. It frightens him. The truth frightens weak-willed wussies. And the truth is that Disney sequel trilogies failed. The actors didn't even want to be in it. They don't want anything to do with it. I've got a stalker who follows me all over Twitter and, gets me banned there constantly because he can't deal with the facts, and he follows actors who were in the movies and hated it, Mark Hamill and John Boyega. Meanwhile, Disney is oh, Parler is an echo chamber. I'm on Parler, but I don't like it. A lot of people that I really want to have, I really are part of this group aren't there, and that's the reason why I don't like using it. It's there as a backup, but it's not my primary. And like I said, I've got somebody that I'm working with that I'm thinking about hiring. Actually, I'm not gonna say if I hired him or not, but we're taking care of this. It might take a while, but we're taking care of this. I'm done dicking around. But it it's very interesting how this. I mean, you can. We don't like The Last Jedi. No, nobody in this chat likes it. Nobody likes in this chat likes anything really that Disney's done with Star Wars, except for maybe Rogue One and The Mandalorian, and we're the bad guys. I mean, when you see that Disney's lost billions on the crap that's been out there, and yet it's still our fault. Only cater to the people who hate George Lucas, hate the OT, hate the prequels, want to see gays in space, more representation, there's that shit. You're not gonna make any money. Get woke, go broke. I mean that's now a rule. I mean, look what's happening on with DC Comics. Look what's happening with Marvel. I told Ethan Van Sciver once on I haven't talked about that. All right, let me. All right, you all know who Gina Carano is. She played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian. She is she is a former MMA fighter, MFA. I don't follow that stuff, and she's a tough chick. And she posted a picture, and if you are stupid, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a meme. But it's a historical photograph of a bunch of jackass brown shirts in 1930s Germany doing the salute, and there's a guy standing there with his hands in front of him, folded. The message is be like him. Don't follow the pack. Be like him. She got crucified by the social justice warriors who act like Nazis. Okay, this is what's happening to me right now. If you hate The Last Jedi, if you are not a social justice warrior, if you believe in traditional roles for men and women, if you believe in anything that is normal, you are considered bad, and they will bully you into the abyss. They'll try. And she basically told him to screw off. She is not a woman to mess with. I've seen Democrats who, well, you guys heard about J.K. Rowling, right? She came out and said there are only, like, I think it was like, basically said there are only two sexes, and of course she got pilloried, but she's got FU money, so I mean, Sean Lennon, for crying out loud. These guys aren't conservative, all right? These guys, but again, they eat their own, and then you start to wonder, are these people really their own, all right? If they're willing to go after somebody like Rowling, like Sean Lennon, like Gina Carano, I mean, this is a bunch of unhinged loons, and this is basically what's happened to me, only because I, like you, hate The Last Jedi, hate the Disney sequel trilogy, think it sucks, okay? Because it does. Look at the fact they're $2 billion in the hole at Lucasfilm. They were bought for $4.3 billion, underpriced. They have yet to break even in that, and I'm talking net, not gross, because that's what all the assholes like Scott Mendelson, who does money but doesn't exactly explain money the way it should be explained, talk about it. Okay. It's all net, and they've only earned about $2 billion for Disney. You think Disney's happy with that? All right, so somebody was asking about earning statements, and Dan Mumby was. That next one's going to be in early October. Here's the thing. That's not when all the stuff is going to happen. The stuff usually happens between September and October. The big layoffs, the changes, and everything. Remember the 5th of September. Okay, but it'll probably be the 4th. Big announcement coming. The divisions of Disney are doing their earnings statements now to the board. And if you look at everything that Lucasfilm has put out, they've had to push back. They've had to push back. Sorry, guys. They've had to push back that stupid Project Luminous, and just seeing some people explain that first chapter that was published. It's boring. It sucks. Okay, so they're talking about that. They pushed that back. They pushed a lot of stuff back. If you look at the only thing they've really got going for them is The Mandalorian. That's it. That's not going to be enough cream to put in the cupcake, if you know what I mean. It's just not. And in the end, Disney's only existence really is to satisfy its investors. And when the investors get involved with the inner workings of a division like they did with Lucasfilm, shit's going to happen. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it out loud or not, it's still happening. Okay? You can be the biggest SJW on the planet. You're still sort of subject to the laws of economics. All right? The laws of economics are kind of like the laws of physics. They are solid. If there is a need, a want, you will have a market. If there isn't, and there isn't right now for anything Star Wars, by the way, at least anything new and different that Disney put out, you're not going to sell anything. The sequel trilogy, I mean, Hasbro won't make the figures. Okay? And it's going to be interesting. It really, the laws of supply and demand. I mean, Geeky Sparkles on Clownfish TV even said that she was very shocked to see that Baby Yoda's not selling right now. But with the fact that The Mandalorian's not coming out until October, there you go. Everybody who liked that show, who wanted something from that show, has got it. Okay, now Hasbro's got their Mandalorian 6-inch black figure. You got your Baby Yoda. I don't particularly want one. That's not the part of Star Wars I like. I'm still waiting for my Count Dooku and my Kit Fisto to show up someday. But if you can't sell it, if you can't get people to come and fill the theater seats, you're not going to be able to bring money back to the main company who, by the way, funded the movie. Okay? And they sold out the first time, and now it's like everybody who wanted one, like I said, got it. And I don't want one, and I'm a collector. I'm like, unless it has something to do with the original, the saga, episodes 1 through 6, I don't want it, if you know what I mean. Unless it's really cool. And I'm not impressed. I mean, let's put it this way. If you actually had decent Star Wars being out there, The Mandalorian would be the low end of the totem pole. Okay. It would be the low end. But because Star Wars right now, the new stuff, Project Luminous, Dr. I Hate Men Aphra, and I want to hurt every man I see, Dr. Aphra. All the rest of this shit, it's nothing, it's not. It's what it is. It's self-projection by misandrous bigots and SJWs, because that's what they wanted to use the franchise for. It has nothing to do with the franchise. And and if oh yeah, we should. I mean, we really should. Aphra to me is everything wrong with the feminist movement. She's really just, I mean, she is an angry feminist's dream come true. She's just vile. And to be honest, if there was an honest take on Vader would have killed her right away. He wouldn't have even given her a half a second. He would just gone. He probably would have choked her. He wouldn't have wasted a lightsaber on her. He would have just like that, choked her and then had her body tossed in a garbage heap. Yeah, well, of course, they do suck. I mean, but this is the problem. This is why they can't sell stuff. This is the problem right here. They aren't normal. I don't understand the thinking. I don't. It's they're conditioned to be ignorant. They're conditioned to be bigots. They're conditioned to be hateful, misandrists. If you run into an SJW guy, and I'll bring up one right away, Jason Ward, you will find a misogynist. I mean, deep inside their hearts, they're misogynists. Okay, the men are. And in fact, that's the problem I have right now with the stalker dude. I'm the only one out of all the people putting this stuff out there, talking about the money, talking about the problems, that's getting shit on right now, that's getting attacked. But they treat women who don't agree with them like shit. All right, we saw what they did to Gina Carano, but it's all through, it's all through that movement. If you're not an SJW female, then you are going to be treated like a third-class citizen. And, they go after Kirstie Alley for crying out loud. I mean, she would cry, she'd like it. But I also leave people alone, I don't, here's the thing, I'm gonna let you guys go. The problem is this, if I was, I would if I could. Well, it's, when you get Euler Greg to show up and say, yeah, it's happening, you get people that I don't really talk to, but I follow, Maze's friend saying, remember the 5th of September. When you get Doomcock and his people, Walt Disney World Magic Rumors confirming it, Tom Connors and Andre over at Midnight's Edge, talking about it. John, our friend John, the Star Wars dad, talking about it, and everything confirms everything. There is something happening, whether you want it to be or not. Grace Randolph even said it, for crying out loud. So it's time to stop bothering people about it. It's time to start trying to figure out where it went wrong. It's time to hit the mea culpa button, okay? And it's also time to leave, to leave people alone. I mean, it's a movie. I don't like it. That's what I talk about. This is what I do for an hour a day. Okay, what is your problem? I mean, don't you have anything else to do? I mean, I gotta spend money on, I mean, anyway, I just want to stop by and say hi guys, and, talk about how we're dealing with a bunch of people that really can't handle the real world. And, they're burning cars in Portland and Seattle. They're hurting people because they can't handle the real world. They were never taught that. I mean, these are people that live in their mommy's basements. These are people that, weren't old enough to, I reported him, and I think Mays did too. These are people that, think, that actually believe the shit their professors told them. Paganistan, yeah, I mean, I remember after I was sick, I was 20, 21, walked into class, and, I realized that everything that my dad said about our professors was right. They're all full of shit. Pointy-headed intellectuals. In the German phrase for that is Fachidiot. They only know their subject, and a lot of them don't know their subject that well. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. You start talking to a German history professor about Adolf Hitler and gun control, and they're like, anyway. So I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all later. And gonna go eventually go check out the horse. I still got puffy proofing to do here. He's coming on Sunday. So yes, you will all get to meet the new mascot. He is going to be the size of a horse when he's fully grown. He's going to be massive. He's going to look like a little grizzly bear or black bear. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. And to the trolls and haters, get a life. Get a life. Anyway, this is Steph signing out. I'll see you around.